Yes. Councillor Espy, could we get you to speak up a little bit? We just want to make sure you can be heard on the online streaming and recording. So if you could just tell us about arm wrestling or something.
Oh boy, what do you want me to say?
There we go.
It was an amazing weekend last couple of weeks ago. I'm still recovering. I'm pretty sore, and hopefully I don't have to talk too much more about random stuff while you guys are figuring this out. So,
Okay,
do we have the that we need?
just checking. Okay, so you can be heard on the live broadcast and the recording. So we are good to go. We're live now.
We'll call this council meeting to order at 6:01 p.m. I need a motion for the adoption of minutes, and I'll just mention that we have quorum with Councillor Buds in chambers with us and Councillor Espy on the phone. So I need a motion for the adoption of minutes.
Resolve that the minutes of the regular meeting of council held at City Hall on June 27th, 2022 be adopted as circulated.
Moved by Councillor Buds and seconded by Councillor
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Espy. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
And that's carried. We have no delegations this evening. We have one public hearing. So we'll open the public hearing for variation PC 3822. This is for Penman at 112 7th Street Northwest. Is there anyone here to speak to the hearing? Mrs. Penman, the podium is yours. Would you just state your name for the record, please?
Edith Penman.
Thank you.
I'm here to ask for a variance on our property for a deck in the front yard. And because our yard is only 20.5, I know it's supposed to be 25, but most of the houses on our street are the same as we are, it's 20.5. We did remove our step because it was a hazard and it was pulling away from the house. So we haven't done anything more because we're waiting on what you guys have to say for us.
Okay. Were there any questions from council?
No questions here, Your Worship.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Penman. Is there anyone else here to speak to the hearing for or against? Okay, I need a motion to close the hearing.
Be it resolved that public hearing for PC 38-22 Penman at 112 7th Street Northwest now be closed.
Moved by Councillor Buds and seconded by Councillor
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Espy. Thank you. All those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you.
All right, so the it's not an issue, but the opportunity for the residents is to vary the front yard requirement of 7.5 meters to be reduced to 3.9 meters to construct a deck, as we heard. And so the proponents are applying for this variation order to do such thing. As we heard, they removed their step and now want to and construct a deck. And City Council has approved similar requests. I'm not going to go through them all, but very similar in nature. The building is in an R1 residential single-family zone, and the application has been circulated to all city departments with no concerns. That's always the area that we like to see if there's any concerns, and there are none. And public notices have been sent, and as we know, there is no objections to that. So it is a recommendation of the committee, and I so move that the council of the City of Portage la Prairie approve the variation request of Edith Penman and Kenneth Penman to vary the front yard requirement of 7.5 meters to be reduced to 3.9 meters at the property known as 112 7th Street Northwest, which is legally described as lots 102/103, Plan 34, Parish of Portage la Prairie.
Moved by Councillor Buds and seconded by
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Councillor Espy. Any questions or comments on the motion? All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
And that's carried. Okay, we'll move right into committee. First up is Finance, Legislative and Property Committee. Councillor Buds, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Your committee has nothing to report this evening.
Thank you. Thank you. And City Planning and Economic Development tonight for Councillor Meyer. Councillor Buds.
Thank you, Your Worship. This committee also has nothing to report tonight.
Thank you. And Community Service Committee, Councillor Espy.
Thank you, Your Worship. The Community Services Committee has nothing to report.
Thank you. And Waterworks Committee, Councillor Espy.
The Waterworks Committee has nothing to report.
Thank you. And Transportation Committee, Councillor Espy.
Thank you, Your Worship. The Transportation has nothing to report at this time, but some stuff in their business.
Okay, thank you. And Public Safety Committee, Councillor Buds.
Thank you. This committee has nothing new to report.
Thank you. We have no deferred business this evening. We've got a couple of items of new business. First item is the award tender for Saskatchewan Avenue West, Elm Street to 4th Street West, pavement renewals. And this is Transportation Committee, Councillor Espy.
Thank you, Your Worship. For this item, I would move that this item be rescheduled to be read at the next meeting of council.
Okay. Moved by Councillor Espy and seconded by Councillor Buds. Any questions or comments on the motion? All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
And that's carried. Next item of new business is Saskatchewan Avenue West update. This is for information, and this is Transportation Committee. Councillor Espy.
Thank you, Your Worship. Work on Saskatchewan Avenue West project is moving forward, but there have been some delays due to poor weather conditions this past winter and spring. However, this is not expected to affect the final completion date, as the critical milestones have been met. The first two construction contracts for water and sewer renewals and land drainage works were both awarded to EF Moon Construction. Water and sewer renewals were completed to 8th Street West in the fall of 2021. The contractor has started work on the next section from 8th to 10th. The intention is to continue work from east to west. Work on this contract is expected to be fully complete this fall. Land drainage work has also been completed to 8th Street West. Work on the outfalls to Crescent Lake is underway. Land drainage work will continue west from 8th Street over the summer and fall of this year. Land drainage upgrades will improve the capacity of the system substantially. Has been designed to accommodate large rainfall events without having a backup of water into the streets and to provide climate change resilience to the city's infrastructure. Pipe sizing will allow more than 10 times the current volume of drainage water to pass through the outfalls to Crescent Lake. First section of roadway renewals between 4th Street West and 7th Street Northwest, including the sidewalks and bike lanes, will be constructed this summer and fall. Construction is expected to begin as soon as possible. Construction of the second section from 7th Street Northwest to 20th Street West will take place in the summer and fall of 2023. Final section from 20th Street West to the rail crossing will take place in the summer of 2024, with completion of the entire project expected in the fall of 2024. That concludes my report.
And thank you, Councillor Espy. Any questions for Councillor Espy? Okay, thank you. We have no old business this evening. So council is adjourned at 6:08 p.m. and we're going to move right into committee. And committee is called to order at 6:09 p.m. First up is Finance Committee. Councillor Buds, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Your committee has nothing to report.
Thank you. City Planning and Economic Development. Councillor Buds for Councillor Meyer.
Once again, pretty light agenda, nothing to report on this committee.
Thank you. And Community Service Committee. Councillor Espy.
Thank you, Your Worship. The Community Services Committee has nothing to report.
Thank you. And Waterworks Committee. Councillor Espy.
The Waterworks Committee has nothing to report.
Thank you. And Transportation Committee. Councillor Espy again.
Thank you, Your Worship. The Transportation Committee has nothing to report.
Thank you. And Public Safety Committee. Councillor Buds for Councillor Knox.
Thank you, Your Worship. Your Public Safety Committee has nothing to report.
Thank you. So committee is adjourned at 6:10 p.m. Thank you for coming out, everybody.